Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Astrological Intentions. I am your host, Alex Reevy, along with the jet lag jitterbug herself, Sandy Reevy.
I'm back.
It is episode 271, October 2nd. Let's get right into it. In the transits, we have today, October 2nd, Mercury opposing Neptune retrograde.
Vague or vagrant.
Tuesday, October 3rd, Mercury trine Pluto retrograde.
Make sense of yesterday.
Wednesday, October 4th, Mercury ingress Libra.
Become a peacemaker.
Then Sandy's conflict day, Sunday, October 8th, we have 3 transits. The first, Mercury Heliacal set.
He leaves his morning's placement.
Mars square Pluto retrograde.
Careful now.
And Venus ingress Virgo.
In fall, just at fall time.
Then the Talisman Times Sandy has finished up to see beyond the goal, and the upcoming talisman to see the results of my actions. Then the talisman of the month we will be unveiling today during this episode, so stay tuned. And on the horizon, we have new in-person events that you won't want to miss, as well as the October forecast and cheat sheet just finished. Then in our house, it is Libra season, and I have a very special astrology meditation for you all. So stay tuned for this episode of Astrological Intentions.
I say go do you. Now travel far, share your stories and earn your scars. It's you. Say you are the one you will answer to when this life is done. Don't waste a minute, jump in the river. Wash yourself clean so you can deliver you. The story of you.
Hello, jet lag jitterbug.
You know, it's nice to go to bed at like 7 p.m. and wake up at 5 a.m. You know, there's nothing going on after 7 p.m. on these days that the sun is starting to go down earlier and earlier. And I have moved all my furniture off my upper deck, my rooftop deck. So there's no really reason to stay awake. So besides, I'm jet lagged. I got to go to sleep.
But you and I both, we like got back home and hit the ground running. You were, unpacking, organizing, also watching a very new fun documentary.
Are we going to talk about that?
Well, I think we should wait for that next episode. Sorry. Teaser alert. So
are you my boss?
Most days. So let's go direct to all of our listeners. Thank you again for your emails. We want your questions. We want your feedback. We want all of it. So don't forget that it is our soul food and we are always hungry. So this is a handwritten letter that we received during this Greece retreat. And this is a message from A. Rose. And really a wonderful, one, beautiful handwriting, 2, really beautifully said. So here we go. Sandy, there really aren't enough words I could say to express my deep gratitude for your contributions to my journey, which I believe has only just begun. From the moment I met you, I felt the gravitational pull to be in your space and listen intently to your guidance. In a lot of ways, you remind me of my own mom, and it's an honor to be alongside you in this space. Thank you for your tireless effort to make such a magical retreat and vacation to remember my entire life. You're a shining example of what I aspire to be as a woman business owner, healer, and human. Your tokens of encouragement and love have helped to strengthen who I am and who I will one day become until we meet again. Beautifully said. That's what an incredible memento to take home with you as a memorabilia, a way to remember such an impactful, wonderful retreat.
She handed it to me. The retreat wasn't even over yet and handed it to me because she, and really it's just everyone. This was just, I hope we're going to talk about this in our house because come on, this was an amazing retreat. And if you missed it this time, you can go back next time. We're going back next September.
We will definitely talk about that in the next episode because I have a meditation for everyone this go around. So let's move into the transits. Starting off with Monday, October 2nd, today, if you're listening on time, Mercury opposing Neptune retrograde.
Yeah, vague, huh? Or vagrant, right? Strolling aimlessly around without a particular direction, without a thought or a belief. That sounds like, you know, aimlessly, right? Like almost like a vagrant, right? Like not knowing, not having a purpose. But sit down here and relax. Search for the truth and the meaning of what that truth means to you. Watch overdoing anything today except, read and write and talk a bit of nonsense. That's just maybe some of the magic that you can find in today. Right. I mean, we're talking about Mercury. Mercury's in Virgo, like ding, 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 wants to organize, wants to put things into order. He's now out of his retrograde and his shadow period. So he wants to be preparing and planning ahead. And he then runs into an opposition with Neptune going, blah, 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 right? And having this like, not certain of what the plan is. However, if you sit and be in the magic of it, there is something there that is maybe not formalized yet, but there is an ideation, an illusional ideation that you can pull in. So, vague is fine. We don't want to be a vagabond or vagrant, right? But being vague is okay.
All right. And so Tuesday, October 3rd, Mercury trine Pluto retrograde.
Make sense of yesterday, right? Now we got Mercury, this planet that was just butting into the opposition with Neptune yesterday, now makes a trine to Pluto. And now it's like, see this profound point that you may have been searching for yesterday. Right. So now it's a trine. So it's like, bam, something hits you between the eyes. Probe, you can probe easily, you can probe deeper into that thought, that dream, that vagueness that was yesterday. And consider what's been on your mind since yesterday. Yeah.
And I think that sometimes happens too, when, we're ideating or we're kind of downloading these visions. Sometimes they're not the clearest, but, use of Mercury, that is a really wonderful way to get down to the details.
And actually, I'll tell you this, we'll talk about this next week, about how this already has been in play for me.
Okay. Stay tuned. So Wednesday, October 4th, Mercury ingress Libra.
Yeah. So he's moving out of his place of exaltation and his place of domicile. And he's moving into the Peacemaker placement, Libra. So I look at this as the buckle in a belt, right? We just finished that whole fixed star mythology in our charts. And so when I was writing this, it was like, Mercury likes to be the connector, like the sharer. And in Libra, it is the connector, but it's like the buckle in a belt where it holds two things together. And it reminds me of the Helm fixed star that I have in my chart, which is the middle star of the Orion's belt. Right. It's the ornamentation of the 3 dots in the middle of his skinny waist. Right.
Right.
Of Orion. So it's really about, smooth and calm energies that are around you. Will that align with other people's bubbles? This I like you, you like me attitude of, and we use that on retreat, right? Because we don't always know the language wherever we're traveling. And so we do use this I like you, you like me scenario. And we teach it actually, where, my bubble is, but my positive ion bubble is butting into someone else's positive ion bubble, and we connect. So it kind of reminds me about being a peacemaker. So I can't say that enough to let this be your mantra. This entire now Mercury is going to be in Libra for only like less than 3 weeks. So you can, in fact, let me give you the exact date that he's coming out now that I'm looking at this. He goes into Scorpio on October 23rd. So it's just this October 4th through October, what did I just say? 23rd?
Yes.
Where he's going to be in Libra. So you start using that. I like you, you like me. You can say it to yourself, right?
Right.
We have stories about that.
And I think that that's such an important part of it, because I really think that like to become a peacemaker, we also need to make peace within ourselves, because that's a lot of where our reality comes from, is this internal reality that we're living and building constantly. So I think that this is also going to be perfect timing for this Libra meditation of making peace within ourselves. So I'll leave it at that, but definitely stay tuned to this episode until the end to join us for that Libra meditation. Shall we start on the next day, which is your conflict day?
Yeah. Now, this first part's not my conflict part of the day, but go on.
Right. Well, we'll start with Sunday, October 8th, Mercury's Heliacal set.
Yeah. So Mercury's been in the morning sky, and he is now falling out of the morning sky because he's setting, and he's leaving the morning rise. So we're going to see him again after he and the sun meet up at the superior Cazimi, and he's going to be an evening star after November 5th. So it's a whole almost month where we will not see Mercury in the sky. He's a hard dude to see anyway. He's such a he stays really, he's the one planet that stays really close to the sun, and he's difficult to see in the morning sky when he's there, and he's, like I said, he's just leaving there. He's easier to see in the evening sky, but that won't be until a month from now, November 5th.
So then we'll move on to the next transit, which is what makes it your conflict day, which is Mars square Pluto retrograde.
Yeah, this is about careful now. It's so funny to me. I don't know if this is worth saying this, but it just comes into my mind and I want to say it. It's like, when you're carrying, like, let's just say you're carrying, 50 pounds down the stairs in high heels, and these things are like glass, right?
Right. Careful
and
now.
What does everybody say to you? Be careful, watch your step, be careful. It's so funny that people give you this warning when you already know I'm doing something sort of dangerous. And so your word by saying be careful, like, wouldn't I rather hear you say, hey, let me help you with that? Right? That looks a little, so just this whole thing that I wrote, careful now. It's like you want to like slap somebody going, I realize I will be careful, like, right? But we say that all the time because we care, but it's like, you're crossing the street in Bali, right? And you got to look both ways 100 times before you decide to cross. And people are saying, careful now. It's like, yeah, I will. Right. But anyway, this is the conflict day because this happens once a year, where Mars is making a square, tension, strife, stress to Pluto. So these are the two dudes that really can create a havoc, right? Because everyone, not just you, is feeling this intensity to possible anger. This is high vibe intensity. So high energy has kicked up a few notches today. So one of the things I do, which always works, learn to count either under your breath or into the pillow. When I'm doing something hard or I'm, carrying knives down the stairs in my stilettos, you know, because it's like, where's my end game? I often count, you know, like if I've got to climb stairs or go downstairs, it's just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like it keeps my mind occupied on whatever it is I'm the troubling thing or the heavy thing or the angry thing, right?
And I think what works for me in those places, and it's usually about balance, you know, for me it's about balance. If I have my slack line and I take it out and I'm trying to be this, like, you know, circus performer basically, and balancing on that tightrope, it's all about breath. And that's one thing that I've noticed. If I calm myself down, kind of like have that like singular focus, like accounting would be very helpful, because that's just this, it's very rote and it's very calming. But the breath, absolutely 100% as well.
Yeah, so I do like this, you know, because this could be a popping off kind of scenario, right? Where two or more people can really go at it, right? So, you know, I like this whole 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, deep breath, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, deep breath, right? You can count it out, and your mind can be some other place than in the anger position that you want to get back at something or get angry at something. So, yeah, I just really think that Mars is in Libra here, right? So Mars in Libra, you know, he is in detriment here. So he's, you know, the ruler of Libra is Venus. So, you know, is there some sort of calming beauty that you can attune to while this Mars is making this square to Pluto? It happens once a year.
Right.
So, it's on a Sunday. And it's in all day Sunday, it will be applying to, and we get at the exact time around 8 p.m. So,
yeah. And then to wrap up the week with the third transit of Sunday, October 8th, Venus ingress Virgo.
Holy moly. She finally moves out of Leo. She hasn't left Leo since June 6th. What? She usually goes through a sign in 3 to 4 weeks. Well, June 6th is 4 months ago. We're already in October, right? So there is this, like, now she needs to be more practical about her relationships. She has to maybe put some plans together, whether they're fun plans or some border plans, you know, and like maybe cleaning up, giving duties, sharing the duties with your relationship. You know, what I really also find interesting is that she's going to be moving with Regulus, right? Because Regulus, the fixed star, is exactly at 0 degrees of Virgo now. It used to be in Leo when we were born, and then slowly has moved into the next sign of Virgo. So you might just want to watch kind of complaining or nagging that you don't like things, you know, examine your flaws, examine any blemishes that you don't really like. Is there a way to correct them? Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, a big week ahead, but
yeah, it's big week.
I think the theme here will be that Libra type of peace, you know, knowing that you can take those deep breaths, you can focus, you know, have that singular focus and bring peace and have it start with you. So I like that. Let's move on to Talisman Times, where you have finished up 1, which is Sunday, October 1st, to see beyond the goal.
I think and act thoroughly through to the end. I prepare for spirit to last forever and even into the next life. Yeah, we got Mercury here in his degree of exaltation, his sign of exaltation, his sign of domicile leadership. He really rules heavily in the sign of Virgo, and he's in the third decan of Virgo, and he's coming up over the horizon at this exact moment, and Moon is making a conjunction to Jupiter. So I really like this, like seeing beyond the goal. Like, we sometimes stop at the goal.
Right.
And what this is about is, the third decan of Virgo is about the sarcophagus, right? So it's kind of like beyond the reality of our senses. And so seeing beyond that and again, what are you preparing your spirit to last forever and even into the next life? Right. That's a beautiful, and what you'll see that I'm doing another one in the morning the next day, because Mercury gets to be here, once every 10 months. And we've got the moon able to bring this energy down onto the earth. So we're using it this year.
Yeah. And I think that is right. Like looking through and past the end goal. And I think that that's a very powerful place to be coming from as, a creator. So let's move on
and one other comment about that is, like, sometimes we have our goal and we drive toward it for how many ever months, years, or whatever that takes to get there. And sometimes we're disappointed. We're like, is that all there is? Right. We might have had such an enormous
expectation
and of the result. And what I love about this talisman is we're seeing beyond that. Like there's something more than just that goal. Right. So yeah, really like this one.
Yes. And the next one, which is kind of upcoming, however, once you're probably listening to this podcast, it will already be created, which is Monday, October 2nd, to see the results of my actions.
So this is that same Mercury and third decan of Virgo. The moon is making some nice aspects to Venus and to Mercury. And this is where we take that. My legacy is to fully embrace the moments, even beyond the grave. I value what I cannot take with me. I prepare my spirit and wealth to last forever.
That is a powerful statement.
This reminds me of a woman that came to me maybe 6 years ago and wanted me to do a personal intention bracelet for her, because her goal, she had been given and didn't realize the inheritance amount that she was going to be given upon someone's death. And she was already elderly herself, and said this talisman she wanted me to make for her was about providing her children and her grandchildren and her great grandchildren with her spirit and wealth after she's left. That she wanted to teach with this inheritance what she will have given to them after she's gone. Right. So this is really to see the results of my actions too, is about preparing that. Like my legacy is fully to embrace the moments, even beyond the grave. Again, it's that same feeling of not just the goal, but beyond that. Once my spirit is walking the earth and my body is no longer. Right. So, one of the things I would get very clear about is if there's someone that is ill, right, that is wanting to leave something very important behind. This is kind of that attitude.
Yeah. And also, shedding the things that you cannot take with you, but valuing the things that you can leave, that you can either leave behind or that you can take with you as in form of legacy. And I think that is just, wow, that is really powerful.
I've never done a talisman like this before. It just showed up and it was like, wow, that's the third decan of Virgo.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
We had the moon conjuncting Jupiter in the 8th house of inheritance. So in legacy, so it really was spot on. Yeah. These are very special.
So the talisman of the month for October, this is the first you'll hear it, is to augment my social position and personal identity. The affirmation, I rise above my former self with these new alliances that allow me to flow easily toward my newfound self. This one is on special on the website. You do get a shipping credit on top of the discount of this talisman. So a really wonderful combination if this one speaks to you. Of course, if any of these speak to you, you can head over to our website, intentionbeads.com, where you'll see all of the talismans, or even start a chat and you can get some help from Sandy and I of finding the talisman that's right for you.
This one I chose for talisman of the month because we are going into the eclipse season. And the eclipse season with the Libra Aries opposition can be about personal identity and social position. About leaving, because an eclipse is about a dramatic closing of a door and a dramatic opening of another one. And so I really like this about, I rise above my former self. What I have been, where I have been, what I have been is in the back of me. And I'm going toward my newfound self. So I chose this because of the eclipses we're heading into.
Awesome. So let's move on to the horizon, where we just finished up the October forecast and cheat sheet for the month of October as well. You can find that over on our Patreon profile, Chatting with the Stars. And that forecast is in video form. It's over an hour long, where Sandy and Susan, two astrologers, one you know very well, that they just describe their favorite days, the ideas behind them, what's happening that day, and so that you can get a full month ahead plan going for yourself. So again, you can head over to patreon.com/chatting with the stars and join us there, where you get more perks than just those forecasts and cheat sheets. We have 2 in-person events that we want to chat with you about. The first is October 14th, and that is the Cosmic Trends in-person event in Downers Grove, Illinois. So any of our local peeps, go ahead and check this out. This event, you're going to be having an over 20-page personal report for your natal chart, as well as Sandy's going to take you through the cosmic trends of what's happening in 2023 and beyond.
Right. And and actually it's the day of the solar eclipse, which we'll be able to be seeing that a little bit earlier. I'll talk more about that next week. But yeah, this is I do this every year at Sherry Walker's event, whether it's at that location or the other location. But we're going to do it's from 2 to 3:30 in the afternoon, and it's limited amount of people. So yeah, we're going to talk about all kinds of things. So is there a link somewhere?
Yes, the link is in the description. Anyone that is interested, that wants to learn more or sign up, that is ready and waiting for you.
And that's just $50 for a really nice one-on,
personal
impersonal.
Impersonal. I like it.
Impersonal.
With an N, not an I, and not an M. So October 21st is our next in-person event. And that is the Fall Forward event that you're hosting with a few other people. Tell me about this.
So check this out. This is a former client of mine who is a Reiki master, and she has a home, and she's opening up her personal home in Union City, Michigan. It's only an hour and 15 minutes here from Chicago. And so it's Saturday, the 21st of October. And there's 3 of us that are going to be there. I'll be doing an astrology reading in person. And then Wendy Rudnick is going to be doing the chakra tune-up to give you this energetic shift and uplift. And then I'm sure that some people, if you live here in Chicago, know about Jen Weigel. Jen Weigel is she does a lot of, she's a journalist, and she does the spiritual connections. She does a lot of events where she's bringing a spiritual teaching to the masses. And she is also going to be doing some hands-on reflexology, which she has only really been doing for friends and family recently, but she's now opening up this. So Jen Weigel will be doing your intuitive reflexology. And this event, it's really cool. They've got this really coolly planned. It's just from 3 to 9, but it's an hour and 15 minutes away. So we're going to feel this the fall setting, the colors. Wendy has a beautiful home. I haven't been there, although I've seen pictures of it many times. The event includes dinner, an intention ceremony, a fire pit, a candle ceremony, and these other things that I was just talking about. And it's from 3 to 9, and the cost is like $285. If you want to spend the night, which I am, I don't want to be driving back at 9 p.m. There's a place right around the corner from her house that you can get this information from me or from Wendy. So you put a thing up on.
So a nice day retreat. That'll be a lot of fun.
Really, she's only taken a really small group, so it's very, very intimate. So really, if this is one of your thoughts, and of course, all of the things we do are basically international, right? If you're trying to go on a retreat with us, it's international stuff. So this is an afternoon and an evening with the 3 of us. So it'll be a lot of one-on-one. I think they're only wanting 8 people to keep it in that realm of, sitting by the fire, and chatting and having dinner in an intimate setting. I'm super excited about this. So really sign up. And if it's, if I bring 2 and they I can bring 2 and a quarter people. So this is something that anybody can spend an afternoon and then spend the night, which is, of course, another, whatever the cost is. In fact, she's given me the little cute, quaint name of the
little bed and breakfast or something.
The little bed and breakfast. Let me see if I can find it real quick. The Gordon Beach Inn, historic landmark, which is
Union Pier.
In Union. Okay. Yeah.
Well, check it out. Also, if you want more information, I do have the link ready and waiting for you in the show notes. So go ahead and click on that. And next up, I wanted to quick discuss that we have our Venus Star Point earrings. This is the last you're going to be hearing about it on the podcast, but they are on sale, 60% off. And we just have 2 more left, 1 set of earrings and one charm.
Yeah.
So go ahead, check it out. This was a really wonderful talisman that was made earlier this year, and it is all about that Venus Star Point, about really connecting within our feminine leadership,
our heart-centered leadership.
Yes. So click on that link. You'll see the 60% off there. They are going to be going on soon. I'll skip over the majority of the retreats, but pinpoint the fact that the 2024 Mexico retreat is open and ready for attendees January 6th through the 13th. This is going to our favorite spot in La Ventana, Mexico. I have that retreat page all ready and waiting for you if you wanted to learn more about this specific retreat, where Sandy will be having more information about, is it Mercury?
I'm teaching Mercury. I've never taught Mercury before. And Mercury is just coming out of his retrograde. He'll still be in shadow while we're there, but he's out of retrograde early in January. And then we'll be starting the retreat. Opening ceremony will be Saturday, January 6th. He's still in shadow. So what does this mean for you in your chart, in your life? We'll be reviewing that. Yeah.
Awesome. So they are expanding their retreat center. It's all really exciting. The food is delicious, everything. If you scroll back into our episodes on the podcast, you can also hear straight from Casa Tara's owner and manager herself, where she tells you all about the backstory and about the location of this beautiful Casa Tara resort. So I think without further ado, let's jump into our house, where I have a really special astrology meditation for you. So if you're ready, let's begin.
Let's go. Let's go, girls.
In a moment, we will begin an active meditation to contemplate this Libra energy. To begin, find a mirror and sit or stand in front of it comfortably. Take this moment to get into position, or pause the episode here if you need to. Let's begin. Begin by softly gazing into the mirror in front of you. Finding your way into your own eyes. This person in front of you is your partner for the next few minutes. Take a few deep and slow breaths to center yourself. And as you inhale, feel your energy rising up from the earth through the ground beneath you. And as you exhale, release any tension down through your body and back into the ground. Set the intention to connect to your highest self during this meditation. Your reflection in front of you contains wisdom if you listen closely. As Buddha said, quiet the mind and the soul will speak. Keeping your eyes fixed gently on your reflection, begin breathing love and light into your image. Feel rays of energy streaming from the middle of your heart outward towards the mirror. And inhaling deeply, Visualize drawing this glowing energy back from your reflection and into your heart. Allow this exchange with your partner in front of you, building between the both of you. And whether any distracting thoughts or judgments arise, simply notice them and refocus your breath and energy between you and your reflection. Feel the power of this symbiotic heart connection magnify. Now, shift your gaze to begin admiring your reflection. Take in the beauty and uniqueness of your eyes, your skin, your hair. What do you see? Smile kindly at yourself, sending warmth and acceptance. And join me in silently repeating these positive affirmations. I deeply love, accept, and appreciate myself just as I am. I am worthy of love, joy, and abundance. Maintain that soft focus and eye contact. Quiet your mind and allow your soul to come forward, being open to any messages or insights your reflection provides you. And thank your reflection for joining you on this journey today. And invite this renewed energy into your day and relationships. And I'll see you here next time on Astrology Meditations.
Ooh.
So thank you everybody for joining this Libra meditation. It's a really wonderful entry into this fall season where we are now taking a look internally and finding that peace and solitude within ourselves first. So that is a wrap on our episode today, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. We love to hear from you. Remember, give us those 5-star reviews. Send this podcast over to family or friends that might be interested. And we will see you all next week. Have a great week,
Bye,
everybody.
Bye-bye.
I say go do you. Now travel far, share your stories and earn your scars. It's you. Say you are the one you will answer to when this life is done. Don't waste a minute, jump in the river. Wash yourself clean so you can deliver you. The story of you, the story of you. The story of you, the story of you.